I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome to a recommendations video. Today we're going to be talking about Grumpy Sunshine romances. This is going to be part 1, there is a part 2 that's already scheduled, and possibly a part 3 because my list keeps growing. If you're unfamiliar, Grumpy Sunshine refers to the trope where one person in the relationship is an absolute grump and the other is a total sweetheart, sunshiny character. These traits can be attributed to any gender of character. I think there's a mix in here. Yes, there is. So sometimes we have the female presenting characters as the grump, sometimes we have the male presenting characters as the grump, and vice versa for the sunshine characters. I'm just going to jump straight into these recommendations. They're in no particular order. They're all books that I really enjoyed. The first one is Managed by Kristen Callihan, which is the second book in her VIP series, which you guys have heard me talk about a lot because I absolutely adore this series, and this book in particular is one of my favorite contemporary romance books. We follow Gabriel Scott, who is the band manager for the band Kill John. So it is a rock star romance, but we are following the band manager rather than someone from the actual band. The other books follow band members. And he is known for being very efficient. He keeps everything running on time, on schedule. He terrifies people on a daily basis because he's very blunt and he has high expectations. And one day he's flying out to meet the rest of the band, and he's flying in first class, and he finds that he has been seated next to someone which is not his preferred way to fly. And that someone is Sophie. And what she discovers pretty quickly is not only is he a grump, but he also doesn't travel well on flights. And so she ends up distracting him. And the two have this moment on the plane, and then they go their separate ways. And then he realizes later on, when she walks into a meeting with him and the band, that she is the new social media manager for them. They have a forced proximity situation where they're on the road together traveling with the band, and where Sophie really begins to help Gabriel when he struggles to sleep. It's just such a gorgeous book, and they are such a great couple. They are my favorite couple in the entire series, and Gabriel is just an awesome character, and when he finally melts, it is awesome. The next book on my list is A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert. This is the first book in the Ravenswood series, I think, and in this one we have the female character who is the grumpy character and the hero who is the sunshiny character. And this is about Ruth, who is a young woman with ASD. She has sort of been involved in a town scandal where people talk about her, and instead of engaging with the world, she is quite happy to live in her house and do her thing, work from home, not go out unless it's absolutely necessary. And then her daily routine is upended when she gets a new neighbor called Evan. And Evan was formerly in the military and is now working, I think, as a metalsmith in town. And he is very intrigued by his very prickly neighbor, and he tries to start drawing her out and to talk to her because he is attracted to her. And their relationship is very sweet, and it's nice to see a gender reversal of this particular trait, because both these characters are so endearing and they bond over comic books, and I adored it. The next one is a book that was recommended to me by Bree from In Love and Words, and that is The Quarry Master by Milo. This is a science fiction romance and features an alien romance. So you have Bash, who is the alien, and he is in charge of a mining quarry, and he's been given a batch of humans to work in his quarry, and he's rather put out by this because humans are frail and they break, and they're not really cut out for this backbreaking work of working in the quarry, which is slightly different to working in a human quarry. And he is an absolute grump. He is a hard taskmaster for even his own race. And then he meets Isla, who is a young woman. She has only one arm, she's an amputee, and she's working in the quarry, and she works her butt off. But he gets really frustrated with her because she's obviously slower than everyone else. She can't lift things as heavy as the other humans, and she keeps injecting herself into his path because she likes him. She sort of wins him over by surprise by not letting up and just by constantly being in his space. And it's awesome. The next one is an MM romance, also a science fiction paranormally type romance. It is Sink or Swim by Maddox. This is part of the Relic series, it's book 2, and this is a book about dinosaur shifters. So we follow Baha, who works for Relic, and they are in charge of recovering dinosaur fossils that are being sold on the black market. And he is sent undercover on a cruise ship to try and recover the fossil of a Spinosaurus, and he has to work with a former fossil thief called Jackson. Baha is very reluctant to trust Jackson, even more so when Jackson reveals that their ruse on the ship is that they are fake fiancés, and so they have to spend a lot of time. They've got a forced proximity situation where they're sharing a cabin and they have only one bed, and it is just glorious because Baha is such a grump and Jackson is totally not. Then I have Rowe by Jessica Gadziala. This is part of her Henchman MC Next Gen series, and I forget which number, I think it's 3 or 4. And this one we have Rowe, who is a member of the Henchmen and has been injured. I think he's hurt his back and he's not recovering quickly. And he's forced to spend time with Billy, who is a princess of the MC, and she has always had a crush on him, and he has tried to keep his distance because he is not one of the OG members of the MC, and everyone knows that the daughters of original members are kind of off limits. Billy has been hurt by the fact that he's kind of rejected her and not paid any attention to her in the past, but she is qualified in massage, and Rowe's friends bring him there so that he can be treated for his injury. This gives them, you know, the forced proximity situation as well, but Rowe is very grumpy about his injury. Billy is the epitome of sunshine and has been through the whole series. I absolutely adore her. This one then does get complicated because it is an MC romance, and we find out later on that someone has been stalking Billy and there is a kidnapping situation, and so it kind of forces Rowe out of his funk and into actually doing something about their relationship. And then finally I have one more Talia Hibbert book, and that is Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which is a great Grumpy Sunshine romance. So we have Eve, who is the youngest of the Brown sisters and is a little bit flighty and hasn't really found her place, flits around from job to job and interest to interest. Eventually her parents have enough and they sort of give her an ultimatum, and she's really frustrated with them, so she drives off, and as she's driving off away from her parents, she stumbles across this B&B that has a sign up that they're looking for new workers. And so she just stumbles into an interview without a resume, without calling ahead first, and just, you know, is quite brazen in the way that she talks her way through an interview, which is very much how she is. Those little things don't bother her. However, the owner of the B&B, Jacob, who we know from the start is on the ASD spectrum, he is very put out by her personality. She's big and vibrant and out there, and he's totally not, so this is not something that he's used to. And they have a moment where sort of things come to a head because their personalities have clashed, and as she's leaving she accidentally runs him over with the car, not because of the argument, just because it was an accident. And while he's recovering, she ends up working at the B&B for him, and they end up having to spend a lot of time together, and it's just amazing. Talia Hibbert is a master of this particular trope and just tropes in general because her work is awesome. So those are my Grumpy Sunshine recommendations. Hopefully you've picked up something from here. I know it is a very popular trope. There will be more recommendations coming hopefully in the next month or so, but if you have any favorite Grumpy Sunshine romance books, please, please, please leave them down in the comments so that other people can see them. Otherwise, if you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a sunshine or a thunderstorm emoji depending where you sit on the Grumpy Sunshine scale. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.